Boy, wrestling fans, do I have some news for you tonight. We could very well see a glorious Hill and Bobby Roode in the upcoming weeks. Plus, news on Shawn Michaels and what he could be doing in the upcoming months on WWE television could make a lot of people happy. Going to be discussing that as well. Plus more women's championships in the news again. It's been in the news for quite some time, and once again, it's popping up. So we're going to discuss that as well today. But lots of things to cover. First off, you all know what to do. Go and check out anything you missed. My Raw and SmackDown Live reviews. They're up live on the channel right now. Raw, we discussed The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and the Bellas coming back. Plus the Shield having more and more sympathy poured on them from the beatdown by Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre, plus being arrested and all that stuff we discussed on Monday Night Raws. And, of course, on SmackDown Live, it continues to get more and more and more and more personal with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, plus what's up? R-Truth in the main event. Go and check that out as well. But what's in the news? First thing we're going to cover, let's just start from the biggest, huge topic, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. He was back on Monday Night Raw this past Monday, confronted by The Undertaker. Supposed to set up the big, huge match with Triple H, continuing that, make that hyped. Unfortunately, what the segment did, at least for a lot of the wrestling fans, was get them hyped for a match that a lot of wrestling fans, just telling you, we will never see again. We will never see it again. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, forget about it. Now, according to comicbook.com, it's very well possible that we could see Shawn Michaels and the Dead Man again. And, of course, they also threw in there Johnny Gargano and AJ Styles. But comicbook.com said that there was like an 80% chance that Shawn Michaels was going to come back for WrestleMania. Let's just take that with a grain of salt right now, okay? How many times has Shawn Michaels been in the news for WrestleMania year in and year out? And he has done exactly what he said in that promo. Turned it down. Said no. Stayed retired. So until something miraculously happens and we see Shawn Michaels accept the challenge or challenge The Undertaker or something of that nature, I am not going to believe anything about Shawn Michaels coming back, and I'm sure you all are not going to either. So take that with a grain of salt. Now, glorious. Let me repeat that. Glorious. Bobby Roode turning heel on Monday Night Raw. We could see that in the upcoming weeks. Probably the best thing that could happen with Bobby Roode right now, because Bobby Roode as a babyface is dead in water. Even with this new formation with Chad Gable. Now, it does give them something to do. I came and stated that on Monday Night Raw review, it gives them something to do. It is an odd pair. But according to Cage Side Seats, Bobby Roode's going to be on the verge of turning heel. And let's face it, all the work he did at NXT, much better as a bad guy than he was a babyface on the main roster. Him coming out in a suit, insulting, and all that stuff, the crowds, absolutely fantastic. Bobby Roode, heel on the main roster, turn his back on Chad Gable, go into an Intercontinental Championship title rivalry, take the IC belt, and go from there. But we'll have to see what happens, see if this report does come true. And finally, more championships in the women's division. This has been talked about and talked about and talked about and talked about for months. For months now. I mean, how many times are we going to see this in the news? But I'm going to tell you about it anyway. First, it says that we're going to have tag titles. And then it says by the beginning of next year, we're going to have just a singles championship. Now, look, if we have just a singles championship on the women's division, okay, you know that means that there will be another singles championship on SmackDown Live's women's division. Both divisions, SmackDown and Raw, needs to be combined. And then you could take the tag team division and combine them and put it on one show. But if you're going to take the women's division and add another championship, if it's just a singles, and make it kind of like the women's Intercontinental, you need both divisions together. You need both brands' women's divisions together. If not, it's kind of pointless and it will not work. It will not work. Because how many times will we see the same rivalries over and over again? I mean, Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey is already getting a little tiresome, to be perfectly honest. And I like seeing Alexa Bliss in rivalries. But it's getting kind of tiresome. And I'm ready for a rivalry that should have happened a long time ago. Turn Natalya heel and have Natalya take on Ronda Rousey for the championship. Friend versus former friend. It's Wrestling 101, but that's just me. But that's the news for today. Hope you all enjoyed it. And until I see you again, catch you on the other side.